Hey, it's JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather. It's January 8th, 2024. Looking at dry conditions today with increasing clouds. Highs are going to be in the mid 20s. There's a weak transitory ridge overhead today, so it's going to be giving us those dry conditions. Tomorrow, we can expect snowstorms throughout the day with some possible squalls. We're looking at really intense gusting winds. This is forecasted for 10,000 feet in the mountains, gust up to 50 miles per hour from the northwest, shifting to the west throughout the day. And so that'll be not as um, high in the valleys, but certainly it's going to be windy out there, and we're going to have blowing snow. It's going to make for some hard visibility conditions. And then throughout the week, we're going to have active period of snow, and the amounts have changed a little bit, but let's get into that. So looking around this morning, it was clear skies had dropped the temperatures down into the single digits this morning, so it's going to be a cold start to the week. Stanley, you're looking in the negative degree temperature range, almost negative 15 up there, pretty cold. And we are in a winter storm watch starting from early Tuesday morning through Wednesday morning, where we have periods of that heavy snow and increased winds up to 50. They're actually saying possible areas of blizzard warnings, which I haven't seen here before. Let's look at the highlights. This is through Wednesday morning, looking at 2 to 3 inches in maybe 2 to 4 inches, we'll say, for the Wood River Valley, and then way more up in Stanley. And then in between, 8 to 12 inches in Galena, not as much in the Lost River Range. And you can't see it on this map, but the Moores Creek is definitely picking up quite a bit of snow. So, as the storm systems have been this year, it's isolated pretty much to the western side of the Sawtooth and Smoky Mountains, but everywhere else is going to get some weather as well. So you can see that moisture kind of starting to fan into the area tonight. It's going to bring in those clouds and that warm front. Looking at the overall flow of this thing, at this huge trough that actually builds into this upper low pressure system. So lots of power with that. And that's going to exit to the right, to the east. And this next trough is going to come into our area. And this is what's going to bring those increased winds, because we have a couple different things going on. We have a warm front and a cold front right behind it. So just kind of, this is current surface map with the red line with the circles is the warm front. So there's going to be this warm sector of air here with a cold front behind it, and that thing's going to migrate to the east. Try to show this a little bit better in this graphic here. Unfortunately, I can't kind of just play this through as I do normally with the HERF forecast, but you're going to have to use your imagination. So we have this warm front here ahead of the cold front, and that's what's going to really drive those winds, because we have that warm and cold air. And when we have a pretty big difference close by, it's going to drive the winds to be fairly aggressive. So that's going to bring in that snowstorm and high winds that we're going to see mostly tomorrow midday to afternoon. Kind of step back into the wind world. So this is looking at 700 millibars of the winds coming through. So this is 10,000 feet, which is our upper peaks. You can start to see that wind come through northwest, and then it's going to shift to the west, and you get this a lot of color coming in. So yellow is pushing, this is in knots, but knots is fairly close. So we're looking at like 50 mile per hour plus winds from the west building in tomorrow afternoon. And then let's see, where do I want to go next? we'll look at her. Back this up a little bit. So not much until Tuesday morning when we start to see those light showers coming in from that warm front ahead of the cold front. And this is looking like the storm right ahead. The cold front would be right on the backside of this thing as it migrates to the east. It kind of breaks up a little bit. It's not as distinct of a band. So wherever these bands kind of go overhead, we'll see kind of a better forecast tomorrow on that, is where those increased chances of more precip are. But right now they're all modeled for the western part of the mountains. So look at a little bit closer with snow depths. Let's see, Monday night looking like that, not too much happening until really the morning hours of Tuesday when it rapidly builds. You can see areas like Moore Creek and Trinity are looking at the foot range, and same thing with the western part of the mountains, and a little bit less coverage than was expected with previous models. But the good news is we're getting snow everywhere. So Tuesday afternoon's kind of be like the most significant. It'll trend into Tuesday night, and we'll have a little bit of a lull before Wednesday keeps ramping up with more snow. But again, most of the coverage is going to be to the western part of our of the mountains. And looking ahead at the model, see where we're at. Back this up to Monday. So this is that transitory ridge that's in place today. This is that first bulk of energy that's coming through, bringing in that cold front and warm front. And then after that exits, it's kind of just a little bit of trickling effect of snow. And then we're going to have a little bit of a clearing Thursday and with a little chance of snow. And then Friday, it's going to ramp up again as this trough moves further to the east and we get the back end of it. So that's as far out as we're going to look. And we'll just kind of look through some MBM models. So soldiers are still looking pretty healthy by Wednesday morning, picking up 1.5 feet of snow. And then it's going to keep trickling over to the 2 foot range by the end of the week. Looking at Sun Valley here, Baldy, Tuesday, a few inches of snow. By Wednesday morning, I have about around 8 inches of snow. Actually, sorry, Wednesday evening. And then there's that little bit of lull Thursday before another storm comes through Thursday, Friday range. So looking like 1 foot of snow by the weekend. That, I mean, honestly, take anything at this point up there. It's looking fairly dry. And then on Titus, by Wednesday, we're looking at the foot range, which will help be a nice refresh to where we have snow out there. I don't think it'll be enough to open up new spots, but we'll just cross our fingers. And then we're looking at pushing almost 2 feet by the weekend. These amounts have all kind of dropped about 4 to 6 inches since two days ago. Vienna is looking still healthy at picking up 20 inches by Wednesday. And then another, or up to 32 inches. So over 2 feet of snow by the weekend. And then Bench Lakes, picking up a foot and a half of snow out of this first wave, and then kind of trickling effect after it. Looks like not as much in the eastern side of the Sawtooth, but still picking up 2 feet of snow by the weekend. And then lastly, up at Banner's, probably looking very similar to Vienna, 1.5 feet by Wednesday, and then 32 inches by the weekend. So good news is weather pattern is active and we are going to be getting snow. A little less than forecasted, but we'll take what we get.